We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the live stream of the watch along of the Grand Prix, the main race of 2024 Singapore Grand Prix. We gotta hope for a Max Verstappen win over here. I'm starting the live stream as close to the main race as possible because I don't want to sit here and stare at the camera and look dumb and do dumb shit and not entertain you people. My goal is to give some extra entertainment. That's why I'm here. Anyway, the point is that's why I've started so late. I was not here 30 minutes earlier hyping shit up. Nothing is happening. Let me take this off. So into turn one, who is going to take the lead from who and how is it gonna happen? Earlier I made a video where I talked about Verstappen is going to steal the lead from George Russell. So what's going to happen is, so first there's like a turn one and then there's a quick turn two at the start of the Singapore Grand Prix. And right now they're showing the highlight of Verstappen doing that epic move on Oscar Piastri in Imola. Anyway, the point is, so first there's a little bit of like a turn one, and in turn one, let's say George Russell hits the apex first, but then there is turn two. And the turn two, apex is on the right side, which means Verstappen, for him, it's going to be the inside line. And he's going to just not brake as hard around turn one. And he's going to be pushed out by George Russell, steal the lead. Maybe get a 5-second penalty, maybe get a slap on the wrist. But if he gets the lead, he can definitely pull away, make up for that 5-second deficit. We are 8 minutes away from the formation lap, so that's going to be the most important thing here. And obviously nobody has I really don't know how to check for views. I'm a dumb moron when it comes to managing things around the live streams. Anyway, I cannot care about that. The thing is, I'm only focused on how Verstappen can win because it's going to make the title fight exciting. Here is another important thing or interesting thing. Right now there are 7 races to go and 69 points. Verstappen needs 10 points per race on Oscar Piastri, which means Verstappen wins, Piastri P3, he got it covered. And obviously there are 3 sprint races. We don't know what's going to happen in the sprint, ignore the fucking sprints. But right now, the sprints are 1 point each anyway, and the deficit is 1 point each. And only the top 8 score any points. If you don't DNF in the sprint race and you just finish around each other, it's not going to make a big impact. The point is, what's going to happen if Verstappen pulls 10 points in this race? Can he make that happen in the remaining 7 Grand Prix, Singapore included, right? Can he take 10 points in Singapore? If he wins the race, then I think it's going to happen inevitably because Oscar Piastri, I don't think he has the pace to fight George Russell and fight Max Verstappen on pure pace. They're a little bit on the back foot, McLaren, on this Grand Prix occasion. And also, behind Piastri, there is Kimi Antonelli. Kimi Antonelli can definitely undercut him. Double podium finishing for Mercedes while Max Verstappen wins. That can definitely 100% happen. And that's what I'm talking about. So if Verstappen wins, Russell and Antonelli P2 and P3, and then there is Oscar Piastri, then it's well more than the 10 points that Verstappen needs to close up. And it's only Singapore. And he is going to be as strong as this, if not stronger than this, in the remaining 6 Grand Prix after that. Verstappen is going to be stronger. Red Bull is going to be stronger because we didn't think that they will be competing for pole position in Singapore. And he was. In fact, the only driver who was challenging the Mercedes for pole position was Max Verstappen. So even though the car is not particularly performing well because Yuki Tsunoda is... Where is Yuki Tsunoda, I think? Where did Yuki Tsunoda qualify? Let's just take a look at the starting grid. George Russell, Max Verstappen, Oscar Piastri, Kimi Antonelli, Lando and Lewis Hamilton, who is driving a Ferrari but is wearing Mercedes suit. Planet F1 needs to change their images. And where the fuck? Holy shit, he is P13. It's unbelievable how... either Yuki Tsunoda is absolutely horrendous shit, or the car is horrible and Max Verstappen is doing the Max Verstappen thing again. So that can definitely happen. So anyway, the point is, the only person who was genuinely challenging for pole position was Max Verstappen. he was the only one who was challenging for pole to Mercedes. And he almost got it. Like in Q3, he got impeded a little bit, and he had a bit of a lockup going through, I think, turn 16, 17, that section. He had a bit of a lockup. I think he lost a couple of tenths there. But the point is, he is quick now in Singapore, which means he's going to be quick in the remaining races. There's nothing else you can say about that. In the previous two Grand Prix, when he won, when he won in Monza, when he won in Azerbaijan, everybody's like, well, these two track characteristics suit the Red Bull and whatnot. Let's see if they can win on a track like Singapore. Well, he has put the car on the front row in Singapore, something that he is not supposed to do. And now we will just see if he can go ahead and convert it into a victory. I genuinely believe he has a shot at the 2025 world title, because I can envision Verstappen being competitive and fighting for wins and pole positions for the remaining races, and it seems that other teams will take points away from McLaren as well. Because like in Singapore, if there are two Mercedes between Verstappen and Oscar Piastri, Verstappen being P1 and Oscar Piastri finishing P4 as a result of that, if that kind of situation happen with Ferrari or some other team or whatever it is, and another bad weekend happen with McLaren, because these guys cannot deal with the pressure. They make a lot of mistakes one after the other. Oscar Piastri cracked in Azerbaijan. He made so many mistakes from Friday all the way to the Sunday's race, which lasted for a few corners, but they are cracking under pressure. So other people getting in the way and cracking under pressure, all of it will help Verstappen clinch his 5th world title in a row, something that hasn't been done in a long period of time. I think it was Fangio who did it. But yeah, I'm really excited right now. I have my water. I just took a leak. I'm ready to go for the Singapore Grand Prix. We got 3 minutes till the formation lap. It's 3 minutes, right? I think it's 3 minutes. Yeah, we are 3 minutes away from formation lap. We are seeing the first corner pile up in Belgium a few years ago, and some highlights, some team principal interviews, media stuff that none of us care about. And right now I'm just double checking the race start time, because I don't want to be sitting here for an hour waiting for the race start to happen. It'll be very boring. Nobody's gonna watch that shit. But I think, yeah, I'm right. It has begun. We are ready to go. In a couple of minutes, the formation lap will start, and then we will go racing. We'll go motor racing. Max Verstappen needs to steal the lead from George Russell into turn 1. 5-second penalty, he can cover it up by just driving faster. So that's just inevitable. Now we are in Singapore, the cars are lined up, and yeah. So okay, so an interesting development. Max Verstappen is starting on the soft tire and George Russell is on the medium. This is what I love about this sport, because of these type of gambles, and this is why we have Max Verstappen, because he's gonna go ahead and make this thing work. So Verstappen is going to lead into turn 1 because he's gonna start on the softs. Now later on he might have a little bit of problem, because those tires degrade quickly. So Verstappen need to manage those tires as much as possible, pit as late as possible into the hards, and then he has to do an extra long stint on the hards, which is going to be challenging to do, if I'm being honest. So Verstappen has a race on his hand, has a big task on his hand. He can definitely steal the lead from George Russell because he is starting on soft. He's going to have a good grip. And another thing Verstappen is going to do, calling it right now, in the formation lap, Russell is going to go and line up to his grid, and Verstappen is going to back the pack up as if he's the leader, so that Russell, when he's sitting on the grid, his tire temperatures drop more, and then he will slowly go and line up in the second slot. He's gonna do that trick as well because George has the medium tires. They will take longer to heat up, and if the temperature drops, then he's fucked. Verstappen is gonna do that, and obviously, as a softer tire compound, he has the advantage. The formation lap begins. I'm excited. Verstappen is on soft. George Russell is on medium, and he's gonna take the lead, bro. I'm just ready. I'm just ready for Max Verstappen victory. Back to back to back wins, 3 wins in a row. Like, imagine Verstappen wins this race. Not imagine, like he's going to win this race. Then he will be the second driver this season to have a hat trick of wins. The first one is Oscar Piastri. It's crazy that Lando Norris didn't manage to pull off a hat trick of wins. Someone is waiting in the pit lane. Who is that? Is it Franco or is it Pierre? I think it should be Pierre. Yeah, Pierre Gasly, pit lane start. Something happened, some hydraulic issue happened to his car. I think they changed some core components, so I think he was P19, P20 anyway, and also their car is horrible, so he is 100% not going to make any kind of ground. He's just in there. Either way, so the formation lap is happening. And this is the crucial thing after taking the lead. After Verstappen takes the lead from George Russell in the Singapore Grand Prix after turn 1, what's gonna happen is he needs to manage those tires for a long time. He definitely needs to look after those soft tires and make them last as long as possible. Which tires are Lewis Hamilton on? I think he's on mediums too. Yeah. So he needs to manage those soft tires after taking the lead from Russell, and then Russell needs to continue to put the pressure on. Obviously, in the initial part, Verstappen is going to be as quick as Russell, and this is where he needs to manage the pace. Don't get too greedy, don't push too hard, because Russell is going to come back and the Mercedes is quick. And all you need to do is be in striking distance by George Russell, but don't let him come too close. That way he will warm up his tires, burn off his tires more, because the hot air from ahead is coming, and he will have to go through more scrub in order to keep his car stable. So Verstappen needs to plan that perfectly. He needs to maintain the right amount of distance ahead of Russell so that Russell destroys his tire more, and the advantage of medium that he may have had disappears. So George Russell is already lined up on the grid. Verstappen just came lined up in the second slot. Now Oscar Piastri as well. And yeah, like, I hope George Russell doesn't do any kind of mistake though. If he jumps the start, then he's fucked. McLaren, as usual, have some influencers in their garage, but either way, who cares? Let's look at the race, man. Oscar Piastri looking at Verstappen and Russell ahead, and the final 2 cars are on their way to join the rest of the pack. And now we are ready to go. 5 lights on Singapore. Give me 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Lights out and away we go. George Russell had a good start. Max Verstappen slots right behind him. Oscar Piastri has a good start as well. It seems like Russell is going to keep the lead. Both of the McLarens are now side by side. The McLarens collide. The McLaren touch with each other. Kimi Antonelli drops 2 places, and Lewis Hamilton has a good start. Lewis Hamilton is hot on the tail of both of the McLarens. But George Russell, great launch off the line, and he ran off. Red Bull's gamble to put Max Verstappen on the soft tire didn't work. And the McLaren are squabbling with each other, and Lewis Hamilton is pressurizing the McLaren of who is that? I think is that, yeah, so Lewis Hamilton is putting pressure on Norris. Behind Lewis is Kimi Antonelli trying to get his positions back, and behind Antonelli there is Charles Leclerc. But George Russell, great getaway from him. Great getaway from him. Phenomenal. Now, Oscar Piastri must be breathing a sigh of relief. Norris says on the radio he has a contact and requesting his team to keep an eye on everything. Both of the McLaren touch, man. The it's boiling over. It's boiling over. But Verstappen needs to do something. He's on softs now. He is on a losing race. It's gonna be difficult for Verstappen to stay ahead. Let's see how these tires hold up. I mean, the DEG is critical here. Verstappen didn't have a good enough start. Russell is flying away. Russell is absolutely flying away. Everybody has now. Oh, so like Oscar Piastri ran wide and lost a position. What happened? Oscar Piastri lost a position to Lando Norris. Wow, something happened. He ran wide. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris had a contact. Did his car suffer some kind of damage because he ran wide and lost a position to Lando Norris, and he seems to be falling back. Piastri's car probably has damage. Oscar is complaining on the radio that that wasn't very team-like, referring to the contact he had earlier with Norris, because Norris had a good start and Norris is now in the back of Max Verstappen. And Oscar Piastri said that wasn't very team-like, the collision. Yuki Tsunoda is getting beaten by Esteban Ocon. Unbelievable. So Norris goes down, dives down the inside in the final corner, exits around the outside, and ooh, he pushes him. Norris pushed him. Norris shoved him into the wall almost. Lucky that Piastri didn't DNF. Lucky that Piastri didn't DNF. I think it was in turn 4 5, something like that. Wow, insane. Insane. Oscar Piastri dropped back from Norris. I think he has a problem. Yeah, his front left end plate looks shaky to me. We need a good close look. But George Russell, phenomenal start, man. Phenomenal start. Kimi Antonelli is now putting pressure on Charles Leclerc. I think that's not going to work out in Kimi's favor because Charles is pretty good. No, Kimi is pressurizing, Leclerc. Hamilton has lost a position, so Hamilton did not have a good start. It was Leclerc who had a good start. Russell sets the fastest lap. Verstappen got fucked, man. The soft gamble didn't work. Piastri on the radio. Ooh, things are getting like the drama in McLaren pit wall. So Oscar Piastri is now saying that Lando shoved me, he hit me, barged me on the way out, and that's why I lost a position. Now, what are we doing there? So Oscar Piastri in his mind is expecting a swap. Right, so Piastri in his mind, he's like, Lando shoved me, so I need the position back. That wasn't fair racing, right? Now let's see how the papaya rules come into play and if they swap back the position, because Norris is on striking distance to Max Verstappen. He is 6 tenths behind Verstappen. Obviously, he's not going to make the progress because Verstappen is good at defending, and in Singapore it's difficult to overtake, so Russell is not going to do it. But so Norris is not going to make the overtake. Russell, by the way, is 2 seconds ahead in the field. Now, Piastri versus Norris is getting a little bit more dramatic. Let's see if they swap the cars back. I doubt they will swap the car back. I think Piastri is going to learn a very important life lesson in the Singapore Grand Prix. I think Verstappen is not pushing as hard as he could. He is just managing his tires. He's just doing that. And it's actually a good tactic. Piastri. Ooh. Ooh. So Lando Norris shoved Oscar Piastri out of the way and got ahead. Oscar Piastri on the radio is like, okay, what do we need to do about it? Because we're just going to ignore that. This is not how papaya rules meant to go. This is not how we race fair and square. And the team just hit back with, we will review the incident, we will talk about it, but now let's just focus on what we can do here, which is just to hold position, I guess. So it's a tough one. Like I said, Oscar Piastri is going to learn a thing or two about the brutality of Formula One and life. Life is unfair. I mean, I of all people know. But in all seriousness, we will see Oscar Piastri now go ahead and attack Norris. I think he should attack Norris at this stage because that's the only sensible thing he can do right now from the cockpit is to attack Norris and try to steal his position. Right now, the one thing that Piastri cannot do is to take it easy and have Norris his podium position because Norris is P3 at the moment and Kimi Antonelli fucked up. I don't know how he did that, but he's young, so whatever. But George Russell is definitely flying away, 2.5 seconds of a gap within first 5 laps. He's just flying away, and Verstappen is managing the tires. He is Norris is within touching distance, but at the same time, oh, it was Norris whose front wing end plate is there. So Norris is within touching distance of Verstappen, but he is not close enough to make a move. And Verstappen is managing his tires perfectly. He is just ensuring his exit out of turn 18 and 19 is good enough so that the only overtaking zone, the overtaking opportunities in the only part of the track where you can is just nullified. So Russell gets a phenomenal lunge, and then Kimi Antonelli loses the position at the start, and then another position at turn 1. It's like Imola-esque moves, and yeah. Yeah, Max Verstappen tried his best, man. Piastri had a better start than Verstappen. That was insane. But in a way, I'm happy that he didn't tag anybody. You know what I mean? Like Verstappen didn't have a contact with anyone, so he just got away safely. So first Leclerc kindly touches with Antonelli, and then we see one McLaren hit another McLaren in turn 3. From the view from Isaac Hadjar, so I think Hadjar and Beerman had a collision. So Isaac Hadjar is going, Beerman is on the outside, and they had a collision, and Beerman goes off the track, whatever, right? And then down the inside, Hadjar loses the position to Fernando Alonso. Lando, I think, arrived out of control into turn 3, and he kind of just hit Oscar Piastri and just went his merry way. I mean, it's gonna be some nice discussions in McLaren garage, and like I said, Oscar Piastri will know a thing or two about fair play in life. The sacrifice he did in Zandvoort is gonna happen. It's gonna happen. It's gonna heat up. Okay, now everybody's kind of just settled down. Russell just puts in the fastest sector. Piastri on the radio. So another chit chat with Oscar and his race engineer. So his race engineer basically said that we are not going to do the swap because we need to protect against Verstappen, whatever. And Piastri on the radio, he is like, this is not fair at all. This is absolutely not fair. And he got a position by, hitting his teammate. This is a fucked up job that y'all motherfuckers are doing. That's basically what he said, and he's right. Like I said, he's gonna learn a thing or two about the world, about fairness, and in a way it's a good thing because now he knows that he can take the fight to Lando in like good old fashioned elbows out brawling way. So Singapore is a great race. So Oscar Piastri is particularly mad because first he's going to lose points to Verstappen. It's not 10 points. Verstappen need to average a 10-point advantage over Piastri in all of the races to win the World Championship. It's not 10 points as it stands. Verstappen is going to score 18 and Piastri is going to score 12, so it's like 6 points. It is what it is. But at the same time, Piastri is also losing points to Lando Norris. So he lost points to Norris in Azerbaijan, Monza, and now also in Singapore. So There's a yellow flag somewhere. Where's the yellow flag? Did someone put it in the barriers? No, the yellow flag is clear. Now, who is more likely to have some kind of DNF? Because we may be like interested in a safety car. So Russell is going to constantly setting fastest lap after fastest lap, and the race just started. Anything can happen. Norris is like 2 seconds behind Verstappen. Verstappen is managing the pace perfectly. I mean, he's doing everything that he needs to do. Russell has opened up the gap. Antonelli is still struggling to make the move on Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton is slightly outside the DRS zone behind Antonelli. It's going to be difficult to catch the Mercedes because the Mercedes is quick. Alonso is a further 3 seconds behind, and Isaac Hadjar is pressurizing Alonso. He's not going to make the overtake either way, so we'll see. Both Alonso and Hadjar are on softs. Ocon radio. I have a problem with the brakes. Esteban Ocon is having some problem with the brakes. Imagine his brake fails and he fucks it into the barrier and we get a safety car. Verstappen dives into the pits, gets a fresh set of rubber, and manages it for the remaining 50 something laps to the end. Can it happen theoretically? We don't know. We never know. But yeah, Oscar Piastri Lando Norris situation drama is just getting a little bit more interesting. Leclerc is actually doing a great job of backing Antonelli up into Hamilton, which is what Ferrari would be happy about, because otherwise, I mean, Ferrari are containing Antonelli. You know what I mean? Like, so there is Leclerc, who is defending amazingly Norris. So what Norris can do in order to win this race? Let's talk about other situations, right? Norris just said on the radio that he is a lot quicker than the guys in front, and the pace is good, the tire feels good, and etc. etc. Now, what he needs to do is, does he manage the tire? Does he attack? I think he should attack. I think he needs to attack Max Verstappen a little bit, force Verstappen to use up his tires, and if Verstappen uses up his tires quickly, then he's gonna pit, and when he pits, Norris is gonna be in relatively free air, and then he can push like a motherfucker. So that can happen. But Verstappen is actually doing a great job of managing the distance from Norris, but Norris recently has just started to close the gap to Verstappen. The gap earlier was 2 seconds, now it's 1.5. So within the last half a minute or a minute, Norris has closed the gap to Verstappen by half a second. So let's see what else can happen. As the race goes stronger, Norris is going to gain more and more of an advantage, but we will see. We will see. But George Russell, man, great job. So Norris needs just, I mean, it's just a tire race now. Piastri is 1.2 behind Norris. Is he gonna put the pressure on Norris? I think he should. Piastri's got nothing to lose at this point. Like, he's P4 both of his championship rivals, that is Verstappen and Norris. Norris is like a theoretical rival because I think he's gonna make more mistakes, if not in this race, then in the remaining 6 races, and he will take himself out of contention. Piastri definitely needs to put some pressure on Norris because Verstappen is also ahead of him. So if you overtake Norris or you stay close to Norris, then you can at least have a lot of other options like undercutting him. I think undercut is very powerful. I don't think, I mean, I know that undercut is extremely powerful in Singapore, so Piastri needs to close the gap to Norris to give himself a chance of genuinely undercutting him. But George Russell 5 seconds ahead, he's fucking flying. Verstappen is just managing his pace though. I think like here's what's gonna happen. Verstappen is going to manage this pace for the next 7 8 laps or something until he gets in the pit window, and then he's gonna shred that in that one push lap, whatever life is left, and there he's going to pull some gap to Lando Norris, and then he's gonna dive into the pits to cover him from for undercut. But Russell is doing a great job. 5.3 seconds the gap up front. Isaac Hajar is trying his best to get past Fernando. Verstappen radio. So Verstappen is also struggling with some technical issues, which is downshifting. That's why he is losing almost 4 tenths to half a second to George Russell per lap, which is unbelievable. So the downshifts of Max Verstappen are definitely not working the way he wants to. So the car is not on rails. But still, he's ahead of the McLarens, which means he's going to be competitive in the remaining 6 races. That's the most important thing. And now McLaren are going to have their internal team drama because Lando Norris hit Oscar Piastri, shoved him off the way in order to get ahead of him, and now the team is not swapping back. What happened to fairness, Zach? What happened to fairness? What happened to papaya rules? It's gonna be fun. We will see what Piastri has to say when he jumps out of the car. Obviously, he's going to be, politically correct because the PR team will get a hold of him, and also he will also calm his nerves a little bit by the time he gets out of the car, by the time the race finishes. And he's gonna be royally pissed if he finishes behind Norris. And he is within a second behind Norris. It's not like he's way too far behind. But Kimi Antonelli, by getting stuck behind Leclerc, he has fucked his own race. Now he is just doing the pace of the Ferraris. That's unfortunate for Kimi. Lewis has DRS on Kimi, but he's not going to make any kind of overtake. Let's see. Gained 697 over 5. Yeah, Kimi is not making an impression on Leclerc. Leclerc is managing the pace really well. He is 2.5 seconds behind. Oh, Piastri is 4 seconds behind. Ah, fuck. Piastri has dropped back. I don't know what he's trying to do, man. Piastri needs to push, though. He needs to push. The last thing Piastri wants is to let Lando Norris breathe. But I guess he is just doing his own race, trying to extend the life of his tires, because if he's too close to Norris, then he won't be able to overtake him. And doing it in Singapore is tough, so that's what he's focusing on right now. Okay, so it's a tire management race now. Fuck, man, it's always boring. Russell sets another fastest lap. This is interesting because like George Russell is gonna win this race by like 20 some seconds or something. It's gonna happen because the way it looks, I mean, his pace is just unbelievable. Now Antonelli is under pressure from Lewis for P6. Let's see what Lewis can do. I think Lewis started P6. No? Or P5. First four, I think P5 was Norris. Then P6 was, I think, Lewis. Yeah, so Lewis started P6. He needs to get ahead of Antonelli to get that position back. I mean, he's over a second. He's like 1.5 seconds behind Kimi Antonelli. The pace is also not that crazy fast. I mean, it looks like he's challenging Kimi Antonelli because of the DRS, and sometimes you can have that. But at the same time, nothing is going to happen. The race is going to be boring. Let me just say it from right now. until the pit stops happen and we see some proper racing. I'm already falling asleep. But yeah, like unless there's like a safety car, I hope there's a safety car. So the Red Bull people are now getting prepared for a pit stop. I think Verstappen is gonna come in. Verstappen needs to push for a couple of laps though. Verstappen needs to push massively for a couple of laps before he comes in. He is not that far behind. Oh my god. Is that Yuki? Oh, it's Yuki. They put Yuki Tsunoda on the hard tires as the guinea pig. I think they're gonna experiment. So Lando Norris has hit the wall, and he said it on the radio that I've hit the wall and just keep an eye on my right side, which means he's pushing hard to close the gap to Verstappen because McLaren are now sensing that Verstappen is gonna pit because Yuki Tsunoda just pitted and they fit the hard tires on him as a guinea pig just to check his pace. I don't know why they're doing that because Yuki is shit. But yeah, Gabriel Bortoleto also had some problem. Oh, his front wing got fucked up from the start of the race, so he got into a melee and ruined his front wing's right side end plate. So Gabriel Bortoleto got a tire change and a front wing change. Lando Norris hit the Lando Norris hit the wall in the last corner. Singapore's Wall of Champions. Yep, he hit it. He hit the wall. We are seeing the replay from different angles, and yes, boy, oh boy, he can definitely. I mean, he is too close there. He was too close, so he can certainly ruin his own race. The race isn't over, man. The race. I mean, this is the thing with Lando Norris. You know, he does these type of things, takes himself out of contention. But Norris has put in a good 4.7 seconds gap to Oscar Piastri. If Norris pits now, then he will be ahead of Oscar Piastri is what I'm saying. Right? If like Oscar Piastri is kind of not in the undercut zone, 4 seconds behind Norris, not the ideal distance. But we'll see. So Verstappen started on used softs, which is definitely a bad idea. Hmm. Hmm. Okay, so right now on the radio, Lando Norris was talking to his race engineer about undercutting Max Verstappen, and he is in the undercut window. He is in the undercut window. So let's see what happens. Red Bull must have heard that. They need to react. What are Red Bull gonna do? Verstappen needs to push like crazy, bro. Verstappen needs a couple of crazy laps. He needs to push like a motherfucker. Max, come on. Max doesn't have the pace, bro. He needs to pit on the same lap. But how will you time it when you're the leading car? That's the problem. So Verstappen needs to react, needs to prevent Norris from undercutting him. What Norris wants to do, because Norris is in a win-win situation. If Norris pits earlier than Max, then he's gonna undercut Max because of the pure pace. If Norris decides to go late and wait until Max dives into the pit first, he can just use his medium tires and just push, and that's gonna be that. So Norris is in a good position. Verstappen is not in a good position, man. Fuck. I think we'll have a straight fight between Verstappen and Piastri later in the race, but it's not gonna be big. Piastri is going to lose points to Verstappen and Norris, but he's not going to lose that much point to Verstappen. That many points to Verstappen. It seems. Verstappen can maybe drop down to finish P3 on a podium. But I don't think the race win is happening though. But George Russell is just very good. He's 8.3 seconds ahead of Max Verstappen in P2. So he's just way too far ahead. I don't know, man. I don't know what the Red Bull strategists were thinking when they fit the used soft tires on Verstappen's car for the main race. I thought it was new tires. Oh, that's why he didn't have the grip. Papaya pit crew standing by for Lando. Box to overtake Verstappen. Lando Norris gets the command. Box to overtake Verstappen. Like Lando is going to dive into the pits. Let's see what Red Bull do. It's too early. I think it's a dummy call. I think it's a fake call. I think it's a fake call. But we will see. So is the I think they're lying because it's too early, right? I think they want to catch Verstappen by surprise. I think they're trying to trick Red Bull into pitting. Verstappen, don't bite, man. I think it's a fake call. I think it's a fake call, 100%. Oh shit, I didn't change it. Fuck me. That's so unprofessional of me. See, they aborted. The pit crew aborted. So when they said box to overtake Verstappen, they were lying, as I mentioned. So Lando is definitely within the undercut zone, but he didn't do it deliberately because McLarens, they want to go long. Right? And Verstappen called their bluff, and now they know. The thing is, if Norris pits now, then he will be behind. He will drop behind Fernando Alonso and possibly Isaac Hadjar. Not Isaac Hadjar, but between Fernando and Hadjar, which is a bad place to be because Fernando is good in defense. So you cannot overtake Fernando. So they don't really have a good pit window. So that's an interesting one. So Red Bull just called Norris's bluff and now they've screwed. What remains to be seen is how the relative pace of Red Bull and McLaren is on the hard tires because I think like that's going to be the next tire anyway. So we'll see. But if there is a safety car, then Russell is safe because he has a quick car and the tires are working well. The Ferrari are not making an impression at all. Everyone just kind of just settled where they normally would. Norris is just a second behind Verstappen. He's just ruining his tires for some reason. I think Norris ran a bit wide. No, he didn't. Nothing much is happening now. Norris is just chasing Verstappen, but obviously you're not going to overtake Verstappen around Singapore. It's not that easy. And Norris's racecraft is also not that good. I think we have seen it time and time again. George Russell. If George Russell pits, he will be behind Kimi Antonelli and slightly ahead of Lewis Hamilton, which is again a bad place to be. He needs to be ahead. He needs to be behind Lewis Hamilton, or he needs to be ahead of Charles Leclerc. So he needs to do. He needs to pull another freaking 3 seconds, I guess, 3-4 seconds. So Russell will be pitting when his gap is like 12 seconds from Verstappen. So Red Bull are now reacting. Now they have waited and now they are on the pit lane, and McLaren boys are also on the pit lane. Someone is bluffing. Verstappen is in the pits. Norris goes to P2. Now Norris is going to push. Norris is gonna push. Verstappen is in the pits. The pit stop was kind of slow. 3 second pit stop. Verstappen lost about 7 tenths in the pits. I hope he is coming out in a gap ahead of Fernando Alonso. So Fernando Alonso is in turn one. Okay, he's ahead of Fernando Alonso. So Verstappen is ahead of Fernando Alonso, 8 seconds, 8.6 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. Okay, great. Great. Now he needs to push. Now he has a bit of free air and Norris has a bit of free air. Norris has 10 seconds of free air and Verstappen has 8 seconds of free air. Outlap critical. So Verstappen has been told on the radio that outlap is critical. He needs to push hard like a motherfucker and he's going to push. But let's see what Norris can do. He needs to just cover Norris. If this outlap is gonna be amazing, let's see how much he can pull away from Fernando. Fernando is 1.1 behind Verstappen at the moment. It needs to be around like 2 seconds. But let's see. Norris needs to fly. Norris needs to come in the pits right now. Next lap. Otherwise, I mean, the more McLaren wait, the worse it's gonna be, unless there is a safety car. Norris still doesn't go into pits because he thinks that he has pace. Let's see how much relative pace they have. Now, okay, Verstappen hasn't been able to pull the gap on Lando because Lando has pace, bro. This is the problem. This is a problem. In the race stream, those guys are very good. In the race stream, the McLarens are faster than the Red Bull. Holy shit. In the race stream, though, only in the race stream. So yes, taking the call in the middle of the live stream was unprofessional. So anyway, a lot of people have pitted, and a lot of things have happened. Verstappen radio. So Max Verstappen is trying his best to push hard, but it's not working. It's not working the way he panned out to be, and he said it on the radio that everything in this race is now working against me. First, it was the mishap in Q3 where he was kind of impeded by Norris. I mean, I really don't know how much of that of an impact that was, but Verstappen did lock up in the final sector, and now his pace on the hards is not that good. So, what happened to the Williams though? They are comfortably outside of the points, so we don't need to care about that. Oliver Behrman is in the points. Let's fucking go. Where is Isaac Hadjar? Isaac Hadjar pitted and he is out on 17th. Where is Lewis Hamilton? He is P5. He needs to push. But let's see what Verstappen can do. Verstappen needs to push harder, man. I mean, he is pushing harder. But 4, 8, 12, 15, 18. Oh my god, Verstappen is going to. I mean, he is within the range. He has cut the gap. He's not gonna get undercut by Norris anymore. But I guess he needs to definitely do something, do fucking something, to get the win because Russell is like unbeatable at this point. P2 is not that bad, provided Piastri finishes P4. 6 points of a gap. But there are no battles. So far there are no battles. The problem is Leclerc is now stuck behind Oliver Behrman. That's a problem with Leclerc. He's gonna lose a lot of time now. It's not easy to overtake Oliver Behrman in a Haas. Russell radio. Now Piastri needs to push. The only thing that Piastri needs to do is he needs to close the gap. And I said it earlier as well, like 10 laps ago. But I don't know what game he's playing. He needs to push and put some pressure on Norris, and he needs to outmuscle Norris in this Grand Prix. But Verstappen is doing a great job, by the way. He is flying, he is pushing. Behrman goes into the pits, releasing Charles Leclerc into free air. Now Leclerc will push. Max Verstappen sets the fastest lap of the race, 1:36.0, 6 tenths faster than Lando Norris. He has unlocked the pace. Battle versus speed. Okay. Lewis Hamilton will be attacked by Max Verstappen in 1 lap period of time. Because Verstappen is just flying right now, so there's just no doubt about it. Let's see how much Piastri radio. So now Oscar Piastri needs to cover Leclerc. So that's another issue. So let's see what can happen. Piastri needs to pit, and so Hamilton has been called to box right now, where I wonder where he pops out. Liam Lawson currently running in the points, but he hasn't pitted yet. Isaac Hadjar is screwed, man. Oliver Behrman, like after his pit stop, came out ahead of Isaac Hadjar, so good job by Haas. Lewis Hamilton is in the pits. The front right was slow. Slow pit stop, 3.5. But okay, Lewis Hamilton lost some time, which is the Ferrari way, and now he is behind Hülkenberg. Hülkenberg hasn't pitted. I hope he's not behind Liam Lawson. Oh my god, he's gonna be. Oh, he's slightly ahead of Liam Lawson. Great. Now Lewis is ahead. Great. But anyway, now let's focus on what happens between the two McLarens, because Oscar Piastri is now statically behind, 4.5 behind Norris. He hasn't closed the gap. He hasn't made any kind of impact. They're replaying the slow pit stop of Lewis Hamilton, by the way. George Russell is in the pits. Hope nothing bad happens. Max Verstappen, purple sector 2. Oh, the pit stop is pretty nifty. 2.5, pretty nice, pretty amazing. George Russell is on fire. Mercedes is on fire. They have double stacked both of the Mercedes drivers. Kimi Antonelli is in the pit lane as well. George Russell is exiting the pit lane, and I think yeah he is 3.8 ahead of Max Verstappen, which is good because Verstappen has closed the gap, but he has like 5 laps younger, harder tires. So let's see what happens. Norris. So McLaren people are having a conversation because here's the thing: Norris wants to cover Verstappen and Piastri wants to cover Leclerc as well. So they are having this, like long discussion over the radio. Now Norris is being called to box. Oscar Piastri, effectively the leader of the race, but he ain't got that pace. He needs to extend. He needs to push, man. Piastri should have pushed earlier. I don't know what he has done. So let's see what happens. Fernando Alonso still hasn't pitted. He's P5. He's just waiting. Now this is the thing. This is the crazy thing that Fernando can do because he's gonna hold the pack up. He may hold up Leclerc. Is what I'm saying. Oscar Piastri leads the race. Lando Norris gets a change of tires, and Verstappen goes ahead of Norris. Verstappen protects his P2 position. Great job. Great job. By pitting early, a few laps early, Verstappen has extended his lead to Norris, 4.7 now. Pretty good. Pretty good. Red Bull strategy on point today. On point. Piastri is being called to pit. He'll be boxing next lap. Let's see where he pops out. So 8, 3, 11, 5. Yeah, he will be behind Norris. But then we need to see a race though. Isaac Hajar radio. So Isaac Hajar has lost some engine performance, 3 to 4 tenths per lap. Now Oscar Piastri will pit and he will be behind Norris, and then the race will be boring. I hope the race is not boring, man. Leclerc is within a second of Fernando Alonso. Let's see how long Fernando Alonso can hold up Leclerc. As long as he wants to, he can hold him up, but let's see practically how long he does that. Because if Fernando holds up Leclerc for a long period of time, then it's going to affect like everything else, right? Because Piastri is planning to cover Leclerc. It's not going to ruin the Ferrari's race in any way. Dead Krabs is screaming. Oh my god. So Oscar Piastri had a slow pit stop. Holy shit. Oscar Piastri had a slow pit stop. It was 5.2 seconds. So he lost a couple of seconds to Norris. Pretty fun, eh? Pretty fun. But so far I really like it. I really like it. What, oh, something happened with Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has a horrible pit stop. He's out of the race. He's not out of the race. He's got going again. 9.2 seconds Fernando's pit stop. Served more than like a 5-second penalty for free. Now he's gonna drop out in the middle of a DRS train. For fuck's sake. Fernando is now behind Isaac Hajar, who has engine issues. So it's horrible now. It's crazy. It's crazy. So now that everyone has completed their pit stops, the first top 7, now it doesn't really matter now. I think they're gonna finish the way they are. Russell is gonna win, Verstappen P2, Norris P3. And Piastri has been fucked a bit. The rear left had a problem. Was that deliberate? Oliver Bearman made a phenomenal move on Alex Albon into turn 16, I think that was. Oliver Bearman, man, one of the greatest drivers. He is a future world champion for sure. Now Antonelli is chasing Russell. That this is his great chance. Antonelli has been closing up to Leclerc massively in this lap. He is half a second up. He closed by 475, so half a second in the previous lap. So let's see how much of a pressure he can put on Leclerc and what impact it has on Lewis Hamilton's race. I mean, obviously, the Ferrari are doing their own race. They're not as quick. And because of a good race start, Leclerc managed to get ahead of, like, Leclerc made up 2 positions at the race start. So we'll see what happens. No one has DNF'd. No one had a crash. And everybody is right where they're supposed to be. This is the most boring race, but in terms of certain minute incidents, it is an interesting race. I'll talk about it in a different video after this thing is gone. I'll talk about it right now. First point is Verstappen is gonna So Fernando's race engineer said 34 laps to go, and he said that if you speak to me every lap, I'll disconnect the radio. Anyway, there are a few talking points here. The first talking point is the fairness of the papaya rules. And next is we will talk about Max Verstappen taking points away from Oscar Piastri. Ideally, he should have taken 10 points out of Oscar Piastri's lead because that's the average. He is 69 points, 7 races, 10 points a race almost. He is not going to do that this race by the looks of it, because Piastri is comfortably in P4 and Verstappen is P2, so it's going to be like a 6-point swing. And even there is no fastest lap point. So right now Verstappen is matching the pace of Russell. He's 3.8 behind George Russell, which is decent. Behind him is 4.5 Norris, and behind Norris by 9 seconds. Oscar Piastri was stationary for 3 seconds longer, so Piastri is not going to do anything. At least the least he can do, again, the mistake that Piastri is doing is he is not pushing. The least you can do, at least go out on a bang, man. Even if you're P4, challenge for P3 against Norris. What the fuck is this guy doing? This is one of the things that I don't like about Piastri. He doesn't have the dog in him. He needs to fight, bro. Piastri needs to push. You are 10 seconds behind Norris, who has just barged you off the road and took the position from you. You have been screwed by the team with a slow pit stop. The least you can do is push hard. And that's not happening. Kimi Antonelli is trying to overtake Charles Leclerc around the streets of Singapore, which is not going to happen because Leclerc is pretty good around Singapore. He had like multiple pole positions, I think. 2019 he had a pole. 2022 also I think he had a pole. Either way, he is defending well actually. Kimi is getting close, but getting close and getting past are 2 different things, especially on street circuits, especially on Monaco. If it is like Azerbaijan, then obviously if you have the pace advantage in the straight, especially you can do the slipstream with a dose of DRS, you can do it. But in Singapore, it's not gonna happen. The braking zones come in too quickly one after the other, so. And the twisty bendy sections, it's gonna be hard. So all Kimi can do, and look at what Kimi is doing. Kimi is pressurizing Charles Leclerc for multiple laps now. Oscar Piastri is not doing anything. He's 9.3 behind Norris, man. This is fucking some pussy ass shit. And Oscar Piastri is a better driver than Norris, I will say that. But at the same time, he doesn't know when to push. He doesn't know when to chill. He needs to push hard. He needs to put extremely hard right now. Ooh, he's just getting too close into the final couple of corners under the bridge section, and then Leclerc just pulls away in the last couple of corners again. And Norris, not Norris, but like Kimi is again way too far behind in the start finish straight, What he needs to do is that he needs to set him up. He needs to set Leclerc up properly. But let's see. If Charles Leclerc locks up somewhere, then it's gonna be bad for Kimi, right? I mean, it's gonna be an opportunity for Kimi. But no battles are happening right now. I mean, in Singapore, there are no battles. Fernando Alonso lost like 7 seconds in the pit stop, so that's gotta suck. Now he's stuck behind Isaac Hadjar, who is on a slower car because they have an engine issue. Oliver Bearman is chasing the other Williams of Carlos Sainz. Like, this is the interesting battle. Oliver Bearman had a phenomenal move on Alex Albon. I think into turn 14. Was it turn 14 or turn 17? Whatever. Now he's chasing the other Williams. Let's see what happens. Did he hit the wall? No. Okay, no, he didn't. This is a real battle. So Bearman is closing in, closing in, closing in. He is good, man. And this is the thing about Bearman, because he does a lot of sim racing. So when you're sim racing, you know how to play with different types of racing lines, and yeah, he definitely has an advantage. Let's see what he can do. Lance Stroll is running in the points, boys. He started P17, now he's P9. I mean, obviously he's yet to pit, but that's the key thing. Max Verstappen has closed the gap to George Russell, 3.7. 3.2. It was 3.8. It was 3.8. Now it's 3.2. And this is one of the, now it's 3.1. It just became 3.1. Anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is it needs to be updated. I mean, the gap is not updated in front of you. If the Red Bull is a faster car on the hards and the Mercedes is not that of a faster car on the hards, then Verstappen has a chance of winning the race. We will see what happens. So we'll see. I think Carlos Sainz is going to be safe, because Carlos has DRS from Stroll. So, and Stroll is on the softs, but he's going to relinquish the position. He's not going to defend. All three of them, Stroll, Sainz and Bearman, are within a second of each other. Bearman is at last. Then in the middle there is Sainz, and leading the trio is Lance Stroll, who is yet to pit. But Fernando Alonso is pissed the fuck off. He's just angry. Because he had a bad pit stop, he had a horrible pit stop. He was running really good. He made the first stint on the softs work. He was running P5 when he pitted. And yeah, 7 seconds extra long pit stop, and he is now P14. Sad. Pierre Gasly. What happened to Pierre Gasly? Oh, he touched the barriers a little bit, touched the wall, last corner. Slightly. Grazed it. We need to have a DNF or something, man. We need some things to excite this thing up, because nobody is pushing except for Max Verstappen. He is now under 3 seconds behind George Russell. So Max Verstappen has taken a second out of Russell's lead. We will see how this evolves in the remaining stages of the race. So Lando Norris is maintaining distance from Max Verstappen. He is like, okay, I'm not gonna be on their pace. Piastri is fucking, I don't know what he's doing. He only has taken 3/10 out of Norris's 9.3 second lead. Now he's just 9 seconds behind. But Verstappen is definitely eking away, chewing into Russell's lead. But Russell has now picked up the pace too. Let's see who can do it more consistently for the remaining laps. Russell is no joke. Carlos Sainz defending very well. Liam Lawson is running a very comfortable P8, ladies and gentlemen. And this is the thing that I have said about Liam Lawson early on, is that his qualifying is kind of horrible, but his race paces and race management also, like the way he approaches the race, the way he manages his pace and all of these tires, that's actually pretty good. He just needs to fix his qualifying issues. He had a great qualifying in Azerbaijan, but he definitely needs more. He needs that consistency. He has the speed. He is a quick guy. We have completed a little bit more than 50% of the race, and yeah, nothing interesting is happening, and we are now seeing the shot of Carlos Sainz's girlfriend. Great job, race director. That was very insightful. Oliver Behrman is doing everything he can to put the pressure on Carlos. I think the only thing that is saving Carlos right now is what's his name? Lance Stroll's DRS from Lance Stroll. But he's got to pit at some point. The thing is, Lance's pace doesn't look that bad. So he can just drive for as long as he wants. I reckon he would pit by lap 40. I mean, he is driving on those tires. Lance Stroll is driving on the soft tires for 40 laps almost. So that's impressive. Mega first stint. Max Verstappen now. Oh, George Russell flew away. George Russell flew away. So the gap was earlier 2.7 seconds. Now it's 4.6. So George Russell realized that, okay, Verstappen is trying to, attack him. And yeah, it's unfortunate. Or did Verstappen make a mistake? Ooh, Verstappen had a lockup. Oh, so he was actually closing it, and he locked up into T16. T16. Yeah, that was. I mean, I don't know which turn it was, but he locked up into some corner. The place where Isaac Hajar defending for his life. Isaac Hajar, great defense, but Fernando Alonso with great traction coming out of that corner. Come on, Isaac. Brake late, buddy. Ooh, Isaac Hajar is defending great, man, against Fernando. He's doing a great job. But Fernando has a good launch now. Let's see. Go to the inside, bitch. Ooh, Isaac Hajar is doing a great job. Isaac Hajar is doing a great job defending against Fernando Alonso. What a great driver. Isaac Hajar, genius, man. Isaac Hajar, boy genius. Fernando Alonso is getting squarely, and now he gets the position. But Isaac Hajar, great battle. What a great fighter. What a great fighter. He is fighting with one arm behind his back because the engine is just losing power, and he is losing 4/10 per lap. So it's unfortunate for Isaac. Alonso radio. Fernando Alonso just called himself hero of the race. Maybe he was saying that to Isaac Hajar as well. But Stroll is doing a great job holding behind Carlos Sainz and Oliver Behrman. He's just doing such a good job of managing those tires. I don't know if he's doing it consciously or not, or it's just like the deg is too low that even Stroll is able to hold on to soft tires for 38 freaking laps. It's great. It's great how he's doing it. He's just fast. Stroll is just good. Great job by Isaac Hajar, though. I mean, so far in the season, he's one of those rookies, that who stand out. But yeah, Max Verstappen has dropped back, 4.7 seconds behind George Russell, and now, yeah, I mean, he has some drivability issues. Lando Norris is now attacking, and Oscar Piastri is he has closed in overall after the pits. He was 9.3, 9.4 behind Norris, and now it's 8 seconds. So 1.5 seconds he has closed up, which is not that impressive, but still okay. He needs to do more. Piastri needs to push more. Now Verstappen needs to fight against Norris. Norris is 1.6 behind Verstappen, and he's going to challenge for second place. This is going to be a good battle. Verstappen needs to defend for his life. This is going to be the most important defensive journey of Max Verstappen because he's in a shit car. Genuinely, he is having drivability issues. Earlier, he said on the radio that his downshifts are gone. Then also in terms of grip, the car is also not that good. He had that lockup, so must have flat spotted a bit. Verstappen on radio. Oh my god. Verstappen is struggling so much, man. He just said on the radio that the rear is like the handbrake. That's how horrible his exits are now. And Norris has closed up 1.4, the gap between Verstappen and Norris, the former title rivals, I guess. Currently, they're also title rivals, so let's see. 12 more laps to go. No, 22 laps to go. Holy shit. Verstappen needs to do this for 22 laps. He needs to protect himself against Norris for 22 laps. And you know what? This is going to make the race exciting. So, Verstappen is a bit struggling, and Norris observes it and says it on the radio. Now, what this is going to do is, if Norris is going to struggle to overtake Verstappen, which he will, at least for a few laps, it's going to help Oscar Piastri close the gap. But Oscar Piastri is not making an impression. I'm extremely disappointed in Piastri's pace this race. He is still at 8 seconds behind Norris. For fuck's sake, man, this guy. I mean, Verstappen is maintaining the gap. I think GP Lambiase suggested him some tweaks, some setting changes, some brake balance shifts, but I mean, I think it has helped. But let's just see. If Norris spends a long time behind Verstappen, behind his gearbox, it's going to allow Piastri to close up. So Piastri needs to push, man. Why he's driving like a grandma, it will always be beyond me. This is the race where you can show Lando. You have to put the pressure on Lando. But clearly he is not doing that. He's not about it, man. These guys ain't thug, man. They don't want it bad enough. Piastri has only closed up, I mean, half a second. That's impressive over the one lap. Let's see what happens by the time we reach lap 45. Put a pin on that. But Leclerc did a great job at the start of the race. Two overtakes, great overtakes. Verstappen is faster than Norris in the last lap. He was faster by 8 tenths almost. Oh my god. Did Norris lock up somewhere? We need to see a replay or something, because Verstappen is now, I think he has found some pace. Maybe Norris made some mistake because the gap to Russell hasn't changed. Did Russell magically just start to push like like a crazy machine? So Norris locked up somewhere. No, he didn't. In turn 17, I thought, no, he didn't touch the barriers or something. But George Russell is doing a great job. He's just flying, man. He's just flying. Just lapped Lance Stroll, and now he's gonna push. Fernando Alonso attempting to overtake Alexander Albon. Let's see what happens. Fernando Alonso trying to. Ooh, Alex runs wide a bit while defending against Fernando, and Fernando takes the position. Fernando is on the rise. Next up, in a few laps' time, is going to be Fernando versus Bearman, two promising rookies. So we'll see how that works. There are some scraps happening here. Oh shit! Something is on the track. Okay, there is debris on the track because of collision. I think there was a collision between the Alpine and the Kick Sauber, so there is debris in the middle of the track. If someone runs over that, they're going to get a puncture, and when they get a puncture, it's going to be, I hope it's not made. The balance is completely out again. It's undrivable. Max Verstappen is complaining about the drivability of the car on the radio. So first we are seeing the replay of Albon. Albon locks up and runs wide. Then Yuki Tsunoda trying to get ahead of the Alpine and failing to do so, and this is the problem, man. Franco Colapinto running wide, and Yuki Tsunoda finally makes that overtake. Nico Hulkenberg looking at the battle between Tsunoda and Colapinto, and where is the collision? Did the collision? Oh, okay. So Franco Colapinto's rear left touched Hulkenberg's front wing right end plate, and that is the debris that's around the 5 finishing sections, like the bridge, the Anderson Bridge in Singapore. That's where the debris is. I don't know if it is on the side of the racing line or whatever it is. If someone runs over it, then it's gonna be horrible. PS2 radio. So Oscar Piastri is having some conversation with his teammate about what to do if a virtual safety car happens or a safety car happens, which can happen because of the debris, as I've been talking about. And Piastri is like, put whatever tire you want, man, I don't give a fuck. That's what he said. Now, in terms of gap, he has closed a little bit more 2 seconds more into Norris. Now he is 6 seconds behind Norris. He needs to push hard like a motherfucker. By the way, it's not gonna work if he doesn't push hard. He needs to push hard because, like, as I mentioned earlier, Verstappen will hold up Norris, and now Verstappen is trying to chew up into the lead of George Russell once again. The gap, which was once 4.7, is now 3.2. But Norris has been quicker in the last couple of laps by 1 second. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Ooh, someone spun around, and there's a yellow flag. Nico Hulkenberg spun around, and there's a yellow flag, which means he's going to go into the pits. Something happened. Well, okay, it was just a yellow flag. Now the green flag conditions happened. Something happened, and Nico Hulkenberg spun out, so he's going to go into the pits once again. Nothing big. He was running like way comfortably outside of the points. It doesn't matter. I thought he crashed. So he was trying to, I don't know what he was trying to do. Oh, he was turning and the wheels just locked. Just lost the rear. It was just a strange thing. I think he got affected by the dirty air of the Alpine in front. Lando is now 1.2 behind Verstappen. Russell radio. So George Russell may have been slowed down by back markers. Now Verstappen is going through the same thing, and so is Norris, and so is everybody else. So this is now kind of like, in a way, helping these front runners because they are right now in the thick of it. So there are a few more back markers ahead, and oh my god, there's a lot of back markers right now. It's the era of back markers. I think the leading back marker of the lot is Liam Lawson. So until they clear Liam Lawson, it's gonna be fun, so anything can happen. So this is fun. Imagine if someone has a collision with a back marker. That's gonna be crazy. Verstappen and Norris are like very close at this point because of the back marker. Now ahead of Verstappen there are 3 consecutive back markers. It's gonna be tricky. I think it's Bortoleto Colapinto. Yep, there is Bortoleto Colapinto and a Haas. No, there is Bortoleto Gasly Ocon. So let's see what happens. So Verstappen is pushing and pushing. Verstappen, I'm struggling a lot right now. Verstappen is struggling though. That's the problem. Norris is half a second behind Verstappen. He needs to clear the back markers quickly. Are the back markers gonna move out of the way? No. Verstappen is not even able to close up to the back markers and get out of the way effectively. Fuck, man. Fuck, this is the problem, dude. This is a problem for Verstappen's title hopes. Red Bull, bro. The reliability, the stability, the drivability problems strike again. Lewis Hamilton goes into the pits once again. I don't understand why. Maybe because he has a free pit stop. Okay, I can understand why. Let's see what he can do. Lewis Hamilton puts on a pair of something new, set of tires. 2.3 quick pit stop. He had a free pit stop to Liam Lawson anyway, so he can just now push like crazy. He's on soft tires now, so he's gonna push till the end. Let's see what happens. Verstappen is just inches ahead, a few feet ahead of Lando Norris, and Norris is right there, bro. He's right. He's gonna get him now. He's gonna get him. Norris is gonna get him because Norris is too quick now, and Max's car is unstable. It was quick in quali, but in the race the car has been a nightmare to drive. He didn't get the right start because He started on used soft tires, and then since he has put on the hard tire, he's struggling with drivability issues. Fortunately, Max has DRS from the back markers, so I think he's going to use that to his advantage. So one back marker gets out of the way. Now the other back markers are there, and this is in a way working well for Max Verstappen because he's now having the DRS from the guys up front, like from the back markers. So that's a good thing. But it's not. He's not fast enough. The Red Bull's car is not. It's not. Yeah. He needs more pace. He needs more. I mean, not. It's not about pace even at this moment. It's about drivability. 14 laps to go. Lewis Hamilton puts in the fastest sector 1, but he is 20 seconds behind Kimi Antonelli at this point, so we will. So Oscar Piastri right now can make a difference if he pushes hard. So Oscar Piastri is now 4 seconds behind Lando Norris. So yeah, I mean he's closing, but he's not closing because he's fast. He's closing because Norris is being held up by Verstappen, and Verstappen is now being held up. Okay, finally there's a little bit of breathing for Verstappen because there's a back marker between Norris and Verstappen, and now Verstappen clears the back marker. Norris clears the back marker, allowed Verstappen to give some breathing space. The gap is about 1 second now, 9/10. Not enough, but yeah, still better than half a second, right? Now Oscar Piastri is about to clear 4 cars. He needs to clear those cars quickly. So Oscar Piastri is talking about a lot of shit, and on the radio he's definitely upset about how the race has been panning out, and it has not been panning out in his favor. But let's see. Piastri needs to overtake the 4 cars between him and Lando, the back markers. Fortunately, Lewis Hamilton sets the fastest lap of the race, which is to be expected because he's on the softs that he just pitted for. He's on 5 lap old tire, so I guess it was a used soft that he didn't use that much. But Verstappen, considering his car is not that lovely to drive, considering all of that, he is also sliding around the corners. But judging by all of those things, he's doing a great job, man. He's doing a great job. Norris is DRS, and Verstappen is still, managing everything he can to stay ahead of him. Oh man, Piastri has fallen behind. Piastri is disappointing massively, man. Massively. 12 laps to go. Piastri is not making an impression on Norris. The gap is now 5.5 seconds between Norris and Piastri. The thing is, Norris needs to take a bit of risk in the final 2 corners. The problem is, if he takes too much of a risk in the final 2 corners, then he's going to find the barriers, and that's the end of his race. The race is still on. I mean, Norris If he manages to overtake Verstappen in Singapore, I'll give him a lot of credit, but I don't think he will be able to. And the reason is Norris doesn't have that good of a racecraft. He doesn't know how to set someone up for a move. Where is Fernando? Fernando Alonso. Why am I not finding? Okay, Fernando Alonso is P8. Holy shit. Great job by him. What happened to Liam Lawson? Oh, he pitted. That promotes Oliver Bearman into the points, and behind Oliver Bearman, half a second behind him is Isaac Hajar. So we will have good fight. But Carlos Sainz is in the points, P9. That's interesting. Williams executed a great race for Carlos, at least. Norris is still, maintaining the same distance behind Verstappen, like 7 tenths, 8 tenths around that, dangling around that. So I don't think Norris is going to be that effective in overtaking, unless Verstappen's tire drop off massively. Piastri is just shit, man. Why he's just losing? Piastri is slower. He's now 6.5. Has he cleared the back markers yet or no? Can we see Piastri a bit? That's Verstappen, that's Norris. Where's Piastri? Oh my goodness. So Carlos Sainz goes to pit again. So he was not. Oh, Isaac Hajar is in the points now. Wow. Verstappen is about to lap Yuki Tsunoda. And then ahead of Yuki Tsunoda is Isaac Hajar. Now this is what I'm talking about. If Verstappen laps Yuki Tsunoda easily and Norris laps Yuki Tsunoda in a difficult way, then advantage Verstappen. And then ahead of Yuki Tsunoda is Isaac Hajar. 1 second. So the point that I was making is, ahead of Verstappen there are 2 back markers. One of them is Yuki Tsunoda and one of them is Isaac Hajar. Both of them belong to the Red Bull family. If Lando Norris encounters difficulty in lapping them and they get 5-second penalties, who gives a shit? That's a sacrifice I'm willing to make, especially for Yuki Tsunoda. No one cares. He's already out of points. He's running P11. He might overtake Isaac Hajar, but who knows? But at the same time, if he just manages to do that, he can impede Norris for a while and then advantage Verstappen. Verstappen finishes P2. Win-win for everyone. 10 laps to go. Let's keep pushing. Verstappen is driving tremendously. And Oscar Piastri is driving like a grandma. I don't know what happened with Piastri. Did his car suffer some kind of damage? I don't think at this point he should. He should have. But yeah, George Russell is just flying, man. Now they're almost side by side. Norris is very close. But Verstappen needs to just stick to the racing line and just make no mistakes. Because he is ahead, right? Fuck, man. The exit was a little bit sketchy. Okay, now Piastri is in clear air. Now let's see in the next few laps. Piastri needs to close in and start putting the pressure on Lando. He needs to go ahead and put the pressure on Lando. Come on, man. Fuck. Come on, Piastri. Oscar is 4 seconds behind Norris. Max Verstappen is doing so much to defend against Norris, and Piastri is not even pushing that hard. Piastri is now closing up slightly rapidly, which is a good thing, which is what we need. So Lando Norris was almost side by side of Max Verstappen going into some corner, and yeah, he was just too greedy. He wouldn't have made that move, so. But yeah, the gap between Verstappen and Norris is around 8 tenths now still. I mean, it changes depending on where you are on the track. But last lap, Verstappen was a tad bit faster. So I guess, I mean, that's the impact of dirty air, right? Following is very difficult now. Bro, Piastri is 3.1 behind Norris. Come on, Piastri, come on, dude. In the last couple of laps, Stroll radio. Ah. So anyway, there was a humorous moment between Lance Stroll and his engineer. So Lance Stroll's engineer says, giving him some encouragement because Lance Stroll is behind Gabriel Bortoleto, as you can see. And Gabriel is on 39 lap old hard tires. And Lance Stroll says, my mediums feel like they are 100 laps old, so shut the fuck up. So that's basically it. Anyway, the point is, Oscar Piastri is now, oh my god. Every time I check the gap between Norris and Piastri, it's just a little bit disappointing because that's not what I expect from Oscar. I need Oscar to be aggressive here. He is still 3 seconds behind Norris. What the fuck is he doing? Why in the fucking world? Verstappen is doing everything he can to back Norris up to slow him down, and Oscar Piastri needs to do something to put the pressure on him. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, finally Oscar Piastri clears Yuki Tsunoda. He is now 3.6 behind. Fuck me. Every time, man. Every fucking time. I'm gonna talk a lot of shit about Oscar Piastri in the race analysis. Leclerc and Hamilton can have a battle. What happened to Kimi? Oh, Antonelli got ahead of Leclerc somehow. We missed that. We missed that. Did they show it? Or were we looking at the back markers or the leaders clearing the back markers? How did Antonelli get ahead of Leclerc? I'm pretty sure that was an overtake move. Oscar Piastri is still 3.2 behind. Max Verstappen increased his gap to Lando Norris. Now the gap is 1 second. Hajar radio. Oh, the thing. Okay, so right now Isaac Hajar gets a radio message about the thing about Max and Norris. That's what the race engineer said. Isaac Hajar's race engineer said, please confirm that you are clear about the Max and Norris situation. And Isaac Hajar said, yes. Do you know what the Max and Norris situation is? The Max and Norris situation is that when Max comes to lap you, let him do it easily and just fuck Norris up a little bit. You know, just back up Norris for a few more corners, allow Max Verstappen to go away. You are off the points anyway. I mean, he's P10. He's not that far behind. But yeah, we'll see what Isaac Hajar does. Always a team player. Yuki Tsunoda didn't do anything to help him, but let's see where. Okay, and they are going to the hairpin. He moves alongside. Okay. Oh my god. He let them both by easily. Okay. He just let them both by easily. He didn't want to take any risks because Isaac Hajar is running in the points, right? He's running P10. Despite having so many issues, he's running P10. So that's definitely a good thing. So he doesn't want to jeopardize his race. Oscar Piastri is still 3 seconds behind. For fuck's sake, man. What the fuck is wrong with this guy? I don't know, man. I really don't understand what's the problem with Oscar Piastri is. 6 laps to go. I'm really disappointed with Oscar Piastri's performance in this race. Just disgusting. The last three races has not been working well for Oscar Piastri. He has been cucked by his team in Monza. He has been fucked by his inability to deal with pressure in Baku. And he has been fucked by Norris and also his inability to push when Norris is struggling to overtake Verstappen in Singapore. He should push like crazy. I don't really understand why Oscar Piastri is not destroying his tires right now. 5 laps to go. For fuck's sake. Sorry about that. I've downed a liter of water, now I gotta pee. So if the moment 5 laps end and George Russell takes the checkered flag and Verstappen takes P2 and Norris takes P3, I have to finish the stream quickly. But that's really about it. The race is not fun. I mean, it's boring, obviously. You know, Singapore, it's just, there's a little bit of team drama. So we'll talk about it. But now all eyes on Verstappen, all eyes on Norris. Piastri is, for fuck's sake. Every time I look at the gap between Norris and Piastri, I'm just a bit disappointed. Because, I mean, obviously Norris is not driving at his full pace because he is behind Verstappen, and Verstappen is definitely struggling, visibly struggling. The only reason why he has the position advantage is because it's Singapore and it's very difficult to overtake in Singapore. But at least Verstappen is matching the pace of Piastri in a stricken Red Bull, and Piastri, how shit of a driver this guy is. I mean, when the weekend began, it looked like Piastri was the faster McLaren, but as things progressed, he just didn't have the advantage. The pressure is getting to him. He will lose 3 points, I think, to Norris, because Norris is going to score 15, right? Yeah, he's going to lose 3 points to Norris and 6 to Verstappen, which is not that bad to Verstappen, but losing 3 points to Norris is not a good thing. Since the last 3 weekends, he has lost multiple points to Norris. Yeah. Can we see the overtakes of Lewis Hamilton on Charles Leclerc and the overtake of Kimi Antonelli on Charles Leclerc? Can we see that? Lewis Hamilton is 1.1 behind Antonelli. Can we see that at least? Because we have been watching Verstappen and Norris for a while now and nothing's happening. So at least let's just see Lewis Hamilton's on board and let's see if he can attack and overtake Antonelli. He's 0.9 behind Antonelli. Can we fucking see that, please? Lewis Hamilton, yes, we are now seeing that, but on the side, like a little picture-in-picture thing. Main thing is we are still seeing Lando Norris following Max Verstappen around, but Lewis Hamilton is now significantly closer to Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and he's going to take P5. Sir Lewis Hamilton, what a drive this guy has, man. So he pitted when he was behind Leclerc. Now it looks like he's going to overtake Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Ooh, Lewis is very close. But there are a bunch of back markers now. Can Lewis Hamilton overtake Antonelli? Come on, Lewis is very close to Kimi right now. 4.7, 4 tenths, 5 tenths, half a second behind Kimi. Oscar Piastri is 2.6 behind Norris, is not making a big of an impression. But anyway, let's just focus on Lewis and Kimi. Ooh, Lewis is just wringing the neck of that Ferrari, man. He's getting significantly closer now. It's gonna be fun to see. Oh, Lewis Hamilton ran wide somewhere. Fuck. Oh, he lost some position. Oh, now it's gone. He has been pushing those tires for a while, but would have been nice. Yeah, Lewis just lost it a bit. Anyway, that battle is done. So Norris is now half a second behind Verstappen as usual, because at this part of the track, I think in some other part of the track, he's 9 tenths of a second behind Verstappen. Oscar Piastri is still incapable of closing to Lando Norris. He is still 2.3 behind Hamilton. So Lewis Hamilton lost his brakes a little bit going to turn 16, and that's what has happened. So is it a replay? Okay. Kimi Antonelli's overtake, we are saying, very amazing into turn 14, 15. That was a great one. Yeah. When exiting the final corner, Norris is 8 tenths behind Verstappen. You need to be 5 tenths behind the car ahead in order to make an overtake work. Around Singapore, that is. If you're planning to overtake in the start finish straight. This is the penultimate lap. The only chance that Norris is probably going to have is this lap. He needs to send it. And if he sends it and is too desperate, then he's going to end his race and it's going to hurt Oscar Piastri. I mean, not Oscar Piastri, it's going to benefit Oscar Piastri. But Piastri, man. I mean, he did it once again somewhere. Oscar Piastri didn't push, I think, in Monza. He had a chance to close the gap to Norris and put the pressure on him. He didn't do that. There was in Hungaroring also. In Hungaroring, remember, where Norris made that one-stop work and Oscar Piastri attacked him towards the later stages of the race to finish P2. Norris won that race. In Hungaroring also, Oscar Piastri was just shit at closing the gap to the car ahead, which was Leclerc at the time. He just took it easy for some reason. He just thinks that, I mean, I don't know what he thinks. Lewis Hamilton overtaking Leclerc, relatively easy. I think it was a bit of a team modus at play. That was a good move though. Straightforward, nothing happened. Now the lockup. Oh, he had sparks coming out of his brakes. Okay, there was some fire coming out of his brakes. I think he lost his brakes. Oh, okay. Leclerc ran wide a little bit. Yeah, now Lewis Hamilton. Holy shit. Lewis Hamilton is behind Leclerc now. Lewis Hamilton lost another position because of the brake fade. Insane. But it doesn't matter though. Fernando Alonso is 24 seconds behind, so he's not going to catch him in one lap. Maybe he can, who knows. George Russell is on the final lap of the race, and I think I mean, obviously we all knew he was going to win. Lewis Hamilton is dropping like a stone. Fernando Alonso was 24 seconds behind Lewis. Now he's 11 seconds behind Lewis. If Fernando can overtake Lewis by the end of the lap, it's going to be another Ferrari interesting situation. Oh my goodness. So George Russell takes the checkered flag. Congratulations to him. Osama bin Russell, shout out to him. Then Max Verstappen finishes P2, right? Yeah, he finished P2. Finished P2. Oscar Piastri P4, like a fucking nothing. McLaren become the 2025 Constructors World Champion. Whoop de fucking do. What happened with Lewis and Fernando? That's what I want to know. Because that's the issue now. Can Fernando Alonso steal another position from Lewis? Because Lewis had brake issues. Fernando is now 3 seconds behind Lewis, 2.5. He's losing time by the minute. Something Russell radio, I don't care about that. Fernando is 2 seconds behind Lewis. Kimi Antonelli finishes a solid P5. Alonso 1.4 behind Lewis. Come on, Lewis. 8.8. Can Fernando take Lewis Hamilton down the main straight? Can it be a photo finish? Oh my God, 4 tenths. Fernando Alonso is 4. Oh, he took the checkered flag. He took the checkered flag. Good battle though. Good battle. It was almost very close towards the end. I thought Lewis will lose another position to Fernando. So McLaren won World Championship, second year running. Congratulations to them. The debrief about the drivers is going to be interesting. It's not going to be interesting. It's going to be open and shut. It's a racing incident between the two drivers, and Oscar Piastri is going to be back for blood because the last 3 races, including this one, was very interesting from Oscar's perspective. Bad things have been happening to him, so we'll talk about that. Anyway, that was the live stream. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.